what we're going to be talking about today is phone books, how I got started in phone books, and what that really means to dentists today. So I'll share with you the story, and then we'll jump into it, all right? So many, many years ago, I walked into a dental office, and they were paying about $5,000 a month for phone books. And they weren't growing. And they weren't growing at all. And I worked with them, and I said, look, no one's using phone books anymore. You're going to have to take a big cut from your phone book budget. Take that $5,000 out. I'll take $2,500 of that budget, and I'm going to put it into Google AdWords, SEO, those kind of things, and we're going to get you 20 new patients a month. I don't remember the exact number. It was something like that. And they were happy to do that, right? They weren't growing. They were happy to make a change. And guess what? It worked, and they started to grow. And it was because there was just a fundamental shift that was happening in phone books at that time, and internet was coming out. Internet was a thing, right? It wasn't a fad like people guessed. So what ends up happening is we built our whole agency around that, and we picked up a lot of new clients with that strategy. And today, there's another shift that's happening. And the shift is that what worked 5 years ago doesn't work anymore. People are thinking that they can just invest like they did 5 years ago into their marketing, be hands-off, not be involved with it, just kind of flip a switch and new patients come in and everything works. Doesn't work that way anymore. There's so many things that are working against you as a doctor that's preventing you from being successful, and you have to be aware of those, and you have to work through those. And there is no sitting on the sideline anymore. It's just like with phone books. If you would have rode phone books all the way out and just stayed in phone books as your main marketing source, you would have shrunk and shrunk and shrunk until you died, until your practice disappeared. Eventually, you had to jump on the internet wave. You had to build a website. I was in marketing when dentists were like asking, do I really need a website? Do I really need a website? And today, I'm working with dentists that are like, do I really need to do these things that are going to make me successful? And the short answer is yes. And I'm going to give you 4 of them, and they're very, very simple. Okay, it's the 4 M's of marketing. And you have to do all 4 of these, and you have to pay attention to all 4 of these. So if you're not successful right now with your marketing, this is for you. If things aren't working the way that you want, these 4 M's will help you clarify where to focus your energy. So the first place to start is your marketing, right? It might be your marketing. In the instance of phone books, if you were investing $5,000 in your phone book and you weren't seeing results, that is a marketing problem. That is a marketing problem, period. So you had to change the method. Right now, if you're just posting on social media and it's not getting results, you probably have a marketing issue. If you're just doing SEO and you're not getting results, you probably have a marketing issue, right? So, and I could go through every kind of marketing around that. So if you're not getting results, that's the first place you start. Is it a marketing issue? Now, before you cut your marketing and say, oh, it's a marketing issue, you have to look through all 4 of these. So the second place that you need to look, the second M, is marketing. If it's not your marketing, it's your market. Okay, very close. Marketing market. You say, what does that mean? Not all markets are created equal. So if you call your friend and they're a dentist too, and you're like, what's working for you? And they're in a mid-sized city and you're in a rural area, it's different marketing, different strategies. In a bigger city, you're going to only target a small circle around you, and you're going to be thinking about where people work and where they travel that way, and you might only target 3 miles, 2 miles around your office. On the flip side of that, you might be in a rural market where you're targeting 30 miles out. Totally different. Now, here's the cool part. We actually have maps that we build for people to help them visualize this, to see where their actual new patients are coming from. Dentists are funny because they'll tell us, well, I'm in California, and one time I had somebody fly for Texas, so everybody's our patient. And that might be true. You might be an amazing dentist, and people are willing to travel really far, but the majority of your patients aren't traveling from Texas, right? We shouldn't run ads in Texas to travel to California. So we have to figure out where your new patients are already coming from, and then we also have to look at your competition. That plays a huge role, because if there's a lot of different options for dentists in your area, then it's going to be harder than if there wasn't a bunch of options in your market. If you're recently on Facebook, we were talking about marketing and marketing spend, and there was multiple people that said, I'm in a really rural market. I grew up here. I'm the only dentist here. There was one other dentist, but they're further away. And so we've done great without marketing. Yeah, if there's no other options, you don't need to market. But if there's options, then you have to start thinking through marketing. And you have to look at your market to figure that out. So that's the second stage. So if you want those maps, comment below. We'll get those to you. They're free. All right, so you look at your marketing. Is it a marketing issue? Are you still doing MySpace and phone book? That might be why, okay? You might not be using the right combination of social media, paid ads, SEO, et cetera, okay? So next is your market. You need to look at your market. What's going on in your market? Have you looked at it? Have you looked at your competition? Have you looked at drive times for your existing patient base? Have you looked at traffic flow? Have you looked at where the schools are located and where traffic flows naturally, and are they coming by your office, or do they have a bunch of better options on the way before your office? Those kind of things. That all matters, okay? Next is motivation. You say, what do you mean by motivation? Well, I have no question that doctors are very motivated to grow because it affects them, right? They make more money. You get more new patients. You keep more of those new patients. You make more money. But is your team motivated for you to grow? Let me give you an example. Someone's sitting at the front desk. They're the lowest paid person in your office. They're also probably the youngest. And that's maybe their first job, maybe their second job. And they're sitting and they're answering the phone. The doctor's coming and asking for something. Patients are checking in and checking out. And all these things are going on at the same time, and they're told they have all these responsibilities that aren't possible to do at the same time, especially at peak hours. And the phone rings with a new patient. And the new patient says, hey, how much are aligners? And the front desk says, oh, $4,000 to $5,000. The patient says, okay, thanks, bye. They just saved themselves a lot of time. They didn't sit there and explain what aligners were, what makes you different. They didn't capture the person's information. They just saved themselves a ton of time. Why? Because their motivation is to get their job done, not necessarily to get more new patients. So you have to have your motivations aligned with your team's motivations. And that can be tricky at times. And there's a bunch of different ways to do that. Okay, so if things aren't working, look at your marketing. Is it a marketing problem? Look at your market. Is it a market problem? Look at the motivation of your team. Does it align with your motivation? Or are they spread thin and not motivated properly? And then number 4, is it the methods? The methods. You say, what does that mean? How you answer the phone. How you present treatment. How you make the patients feel when they come in. Those things really matter because that's what causes you to retain the patients. That's what causes you to get the patients through the door. And so this is training, which we have a ton of training on this. And if you would like that, please comment below. We can give you the free phone training, and that would help your team out big time. I just filmed a podcast on that yesterday, so I'm not going to go too much into that. We also have treatment coordinating training. Those are both free. If you'd want those, comment below. But at the end of the day, you have to identify which of these is the problem. Just like I identified many years ago that phone book was dying and internet was growing, I realized as an agency that I don't want to be in phone books. I want to be in digital. You have to realize that there's a transition happening right now, and it's not, things aren't working the way that they used to work. When you hear a dentist say, I've been practicing for 27 years and we never had to do any of these things. Yeah, 27 years ago, you didn't have to do any of these things. Today, if you don't do these things, you will not grow. That's the frustration that a lot of dentists feel like, and I see it online. They go, man, is this really what, did I get in the right industry? I don't understand. A lot of that is they're not getting the growth that they want. They can't pay off their student debt loans. They can't pay off their business loans. And it's stressful. That's stressful for a business owner. I get it. So I'm giving you the formula to look through and find and identify where your problem is. Is it your marketing? Is it your market? Is it your motivation? Your team's motivation? Does it align with your motivation? Or is it the methods? Do you have the proper training? And again, I have those free resources for you. Comment below. I'd love to hear from you. What did I miss? Is there something that I'm missing in this? Is there something I forgot about? Thanks for tuning in today. Have a good one.